Good Thursday evening, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back. Sorry for having to take a week off, but I am here now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. It's just good. It's just good to be with you. You know, it's just good to be here. Whew. So all the way back last week, Miss Emily Chambers was the first one, says take care. Yes, I appreciate that, Emily. I just needed a mental health break last week, I'll be honest with you. I had been up 4 nights in a row late, so it was just time. I just needed a night off. Connor's here. Connor Kirkpatrick, good to see you, man. Cheers, friends. Hope y'all are having a good week. Hope you are as well. James Taylor, hello. Cheers, smoking a Padron and sipping 1910. Haven't had 1910 in a minute. Mike Meyer, cheers all. Cheers to you, Mike. Good to see you. And Stacy, Miss 4-Leaf Whiskey is here. Says cheers, Perry. Cheers to you too, Stacy. Hope you are well. So, paid is paid. Tony Bag of Donuts is in his house. I'm just leaning into white dads trying to sound cool at this point. Nah, that's not true. I'm not going to do that all the time. But, you know. Oh, goodness gracious, people. You know, your heart just kind of breaks every now and then. And this is one of those weeks. This is one of those weeks where we're going to have to take a little bit of a moment to be sad, and we'll oh man, I almost thought that cork broke. We'll get through this together, as we always do. It sounded like my voice cracked there, but you know. So in honor of our potentially lost comrade, everything's going to be Elijah Craig tonight, barrel proof or otherwise. Donnie the Linux Cat. Hello, Donnie. Donnie's going to be sharing some links for you fine people to support the show with here in just a moment, I am sure. One of them is, of course, for tipping. That is our Snuffy Chat thing, where you support Mr. Snuffleupagus back there, the patron saint of TIMBP Live, here on the streams. But thank you for being here, Donnie. Set your boundaries, hold to them, and put you first. That is exactly what I did last week. And needed it. Donnie's finishing a phone call. Come on. Don't you know it's TIMBP time? Anthony's outside knocking on the door. Hey, man. I hope you're well. I think the door's unlocked, so come right on in. Finishing off my bottle of Bell Mead. Sorry to see this one go. Was it the Cast Strength Reserve? Because I missed those bottles quite a bit. I'm not crying. My eyes are leaking. It certainly feels like that. Anthony Iturrieta. Hi, Swan. Swan's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Hope everybody's doing well. All right, so we are starting the evening out with an Elijah Craig barrel that I helped pick with our friends over at the Blind Rabbits Whiskey Society. It's called Devils in the Deetsville. Love that sticker work, man. Hand selected by the Blind Rabbits, North Carolina. It was all the way back in 2020, week before the country shut down for the pandemic. I had just found out that I was going to be a father. Not a month prior. So I've been doing this recently, and it's like thinking back on like how long Lucy was pregnant for. And like they always say it's like the last day. Is it the last day of your previous cycle or the first day of your previous? I think it's the first day, actually. And like, just, I don't know. The math has never made like concrete sense to me. I know that it's, I deal more in abstracts than I do those kind of finites. But nature's weird, man. Beautiful. One of God's perfect creations. All right. Well, I suppose we should mosey on into this here live stream and say cheers, everybody, to great bourbons long ago and fantastic whiskeys yet to come. May we always have another drink and know which direction that we must run. Cheers. That's some good bourbon. Oh, Zofer, hola, ¿cómo estás? Soy bien. Hi, Bev Porter, good to see you. I hope you've been well, Bev. Sorry, my brain just like went in a completely different direction from actually speaking words. And I apologize for that. I also realized I needed to turn my mic up because I was like screaming super close to it. So here we are. Shauna Marie. Hello, Shauna. It is good to have you back. Perry, we have two pieces of business tonight. Do you know what they are? I do, in fact, know what they are. I have one ready because I have still not gotten everybody confirmed for me that for the second giveaway. We're going to run the review giveaway tonight. I have that ready to go. I am still in need of some information for the splash giveaway. That being said, thank you for reminding me, Tony. We are on the right track. Don Nishida all the way in Hawaii. Hello, Don. It's good to have you, buddy. Gonna see Don here in a few weeks. Tony Benavides. Hey, everyone. Good to see you. Gonna see this guy in a few weeks, too, Mr. Brewmaster1313. What's up, Perry? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. I was late because I was changing the age statements comprised to show up. Because I was changing the age statements comprised to show up. Huh? I don't know what that means. Speaking of people I'm going to be seeing in a few weeks, Mr. James Taylor's going to be in town. Tony Bag of Donuts himself is going to be present and accounted for. I think that's everybody in here right now that is going to be at the meetup. But, yes, if you are still on the fence or haven't gotten your tickets yet, you can still do so. They are in the link below. The other is the bottle share list. Oh, hey, there's a stink bug on my monitor. Bottle share list, I will, yeah. The Discord was really meant for that, but I understand wanting like a just like one defined place where you can kind of list everything. I get it. I totally get it. I'm sorry I didn't get done the other night. This was another night or another week, excuse me, where I was up 3 late nights in a row getting this week's episode done, and it's not anybody's fault in particular, and the reason I'm providing that caveat is because it was a remote episode, right? Eric and I had to record remote last week for this week's episode, and remote episodes take longer to edit than normal. So I was up for three straight nights until anywhere from 1 to 3 in the morning getting this week's episode ready. So please watch it. Please listen to it. I hope you enjoyed it if you have listened to it. And if you haven't yet checked it out, please do. Pretty please. It would mean a lot to me because I don't know. Our numbers have been weird recently. I don't know why. And I'd like to get them back up to where they were. I don't think we're ever going to get to, like the 2020 numbers that we had. But just go watch it, listen to it, whatever. Can't wait to see you either, man. It's gonna be great meeting you. Have we met? We haven't met before. I hope I'm keeping you on track and not being a nag. You are keeping me on track, Tony. Faux show. You just keep me on track. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for us to once again... Yeah, I didn't think we'd met yet. But the time has once again come for us to share our sorrows with each other and to recognize the fact that bourbon is always going to be changing. And we are always going to be in a state of flux. And, we're at a point right now, too, where, we're probably never going to get back to where we used to be. You always kind of hope that it's going to happen. It's probably not going to happen anymore. That's part of getting older. You realize those things. And so here we are, being presented with yet another frustration, and unfortunately, it does come from Heaven Hill, and this does not diminish my love for Heaven Hill by any means. I understand that there is a business move here in place, but unfortunately, it does kind of feel like one of those things where we wind up suffering from some of it. So this is an article from Paste.com, formerly Paste the magazine. Used to be a great magazine. Really loved it. I'm happy that they still are living on in web form, but they were a great piece of physical media back when it happened. So we're just going to kind of glance through some of this. We're not going to go beat by beat, sentence by sentence, but you are seeing it on screen. If you're listening to the audio version of this when it comes out, you kind of know what we're talking about here, but the headline is Heaven Hill revamps Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Bourbon with variable age statements. So what does that mean? Essentially, Anthony, you're bringing up a good point that we're going to get to momentarily. Essentially, what they're doing is they're building in a safeguard for themselves so that if a particular batch is not up to snuff or a particular batch is not performing the way that they want it to, they might be able to just say, hey, we need to put some younger stuff in here. Round it out in a particular way. We'll get to it in a moment. There's a lot to go through with this. Still going to be $70. Still going to be barrel strength, of course. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. But B523, which we have not yet received, although I am hoping that that's going to be in the mail soon. I might have to get back with my contacts over at Heaven Hill to check on that. It's one of those things where, like, I look forward to it every 4 months, 5 months. Don, that's not a bad point, or a particular batch is doing way better than expected and destined for an LE bottle. Highly possible. Highly, highly possible. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof will now be barreled in, I'm assuming that's supposed to be bottled, small batches with varying age statements. Each batch of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof will have its own unique taste profile and proof, as in years past. past, and now a unique age statement that will retain the extra age characteristic the brand is known for. So again, it's kind of like getting to that point of saying like, hey, maybe things just are not going the way that we expected them to. And so we want to make sure that we take care not only of ourselves and our brand and our image, but also that we give our consumers the best product that we can. That's what it sits at on face value. We're going to get into a little bit more of that momentarily. As for ECBP B523, it is an 11-year-old 5-month blend. And it's 124.2 proof. I wish that we could still get those 130 to 140 proof batches. I don't know. It probably will not happen again. I postulated with Eric recently that, you know, one of the reasons maybe that you can't get these higher proof stuff, higher proof batches, especially with the, you know, the hazmat ones, especially, is that they're more popular now and they're shipped, right? You can only have under 140 proof on a plane. I'm not saying that they wouldn't have safeguards in place, but I do think that there is that potential for, you know, they're just trying to cover themselves with travel and everything. The old bottles will be max profits with a Z now. Yay, secondary. Kidding. Yes, this does look like something that secondary sellers would use as a reason to get more people to buy older bottles, especially at higher prices. It's something that's just part of the market right now. It's part of the game, unfortunately. No change, just don't mess with my beloved Weller Special Reserve. I don't mind that. I appreciate that. The Black Heart of Death, yes. Will Henderson, sorry I'm late, but I'm here to party. ECBP below 12 years is BS, but expected given the demand, especially with the single barrels. Yeah, that's another part of it. Get to it momentarily. Good to see you, Hendo. Hope you're well, brother. Independent Joe, cheers, Perry, and all. Cheers to you, Joe. Good to see you in the chat. It's been a moment, but good to have you. I don't mind the variable age statement so much, but give me an ECBP over 130 proof. Dang it. I agree. A hazmat ECBP sounds mighty fine right now. And at least ECBP is available. Is it, though? I don't know. I mean, I feel like it is the last remaining semi-available bourbon from that era of, like, we have really great cast strength stuff at a really affordable price, and nobody really knows about it, but, you know, it's one of those, like, best-kept secrets in bourbon. And barely available is definitely right, Matt. I think this is a good time to bring up as well that, what's up, Prescription Bourbon? Cheers, Perry, and all. Good to have you here. Kind of lost my train of thought there. Oh, what I remember what I was about to say, which was, this is a good chance for me to say, that I'm not saying that I am the problem, but I do think that there is a portion of what I do with the podcast, what we do with TIMBP, and with the rise of bourbon influencers over the past few years, that the spread of voices for people who are all of a sudden in the know And all of a sudden, they want to do they want to share the good word of bourbon. That number just skyrockets, right? When I started TIMBP in 2017, in October of 2017, there were a grand total of like 6 well-followed, well-established bourbon or whiskey podcasts, at least in the United States. And, it's funny, a lot of them were localized here in the South, too. Dad's Drinking Bourbon, Podcast, Bourbon Pursuit, Whiskey Cast. I know I'm forgetting a couple others, and I'm sorry. But it was just this slow build of, like, more people are starting to see this, and more people are starting to get in the know, and so more people are just talking about these really great products that are becoming less and less available. And I'm not saying that this is the only issue or the only leading factor for these products becoming harder to find. I am saying that there is not an insignificant amount of responsibility that should be assigned to us as the people who are the mouthpiece for brands. I think that's an important thing to note. I'm not saying that we are the sole reason for changes in brands happening like they are right now, especially with Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. But I do think that if we are to honestly look at ourselves in the mirror and we are to be honest with ourselves, it's part of it. It just genuinely is. And I'm sorry. Like, I'm taking as much blame as I am trying to put responsibility on other people, right? And I hope that my contemporaries, my peers, feel the same way. That what we say doesn't exist within a bubble. We are speaking to people, and people respond to it. We say, we talk about how great C918 was, and it gets bought up. We talk about how great that one batch of Rare Breed was, and people are going and reading laser codes on the backs of bottles that they weren't doing that before. It's not irrelevant that we are part of that larger discussion. And so I will sit here and I will be honest about that, and I will also sit here and be frustrated with brands who are changing things that I love, but I'm not willing to say that they are the only people that we have to assign responsibility to. It is a chain, a pyramid, whatever you want to call it, of particular factors that just build on top of each other. Market demand, hearing people talk about it more, scarcity of product. All of a sudden, that we get this. Distilleries are changing age statements. It's just part of it, man. It's just part of it. But I wanted to kind of get ahead of that within this particular conversation. Let me catch up on chat real quick. Josh Randall, hello, man. It's good to see you. It has been a while indeed. I hope you are well. Emily is here again. Hello, Emily. Hi to you. Now I'm all. I got my energy up now. Donald Rance, good evening, folks. Just popping in briefly to say hello. I hope you're well, buddy. It's good to see you. Perry's an OG. I'm a late to the party, but respect. I'm not. OG is not the way that I want to talk about myself. I've just been doing it a really friggin' long time at this point. As far as podcasts are concerned, and as far as bourbon podcasts are concerned, I have stuck with this through daggum thick and thin, and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, too. So, got into the game too late. Happens. All the COVID bourbon boomers. I set myself up for failure there, but that's right. Yeah, there were a lot of COVID bourbon boomers. So you're saying it's self-inflicted. I'm saying that I don't. Yes and no. I'm saying that without the accessibility of something like online publications, whether it's articles, whether it's podcasts, whether it's YouTube channels, whatever, those are all compounding factors. I'm not saying that it's one thing or another, but maybe slightly self-inflicted. I'm not going to disagree with that. I just think that, for the sake of the argument, probably. Hit that like button. Yes, please. Thanks, James. Donald, age statements are going away across the board. It first happened in Japanese whiskey. It's happening in Scotch whiskey, Irish whiskey. With the boom in demand for bourbon, it's no surprise. Another good point. We could have called this from a mile away, and we all acted like it just happened one day out of nowhere. Start a Dickel movement and see if we can clear the shelves. Don, that would require me to be a much better actor than I am, and to be able to lie through my teeth in a better way than I do and can. Seems like Heaven Hill is changing way more than anyone else. Could definitely go for a Heaven Hill Greenie. I do think you're right. I think that Heaven Hill makes more big changes to what they do than most other brands out there. Sort of like that in reverse. Wonder how many more Dickel bottles would move if it wasn't such a despised bottle in the influencer community. There you go. Yeah. So let's dig in a little bit more. I like I said, I wanted to get. Oh, also there's a Snuffy chat from Don Nishida. Here's the ECBP 12 year. It was fun while it lasted. It was indeed, and we'll get. Well, at least we have the memories. Too many people breaking the first rule of Bourbon Club. Do you think the age statement could come back like Knob Creek age stated 9 year came back down the road? Maybe. I would give it a very soft yes. And the biggest reason behind that, I mean, truly is just that. See, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth here, but the idea that I'm trying to get at is that I don't know if Knob Creek 9 year achieved the level of popularity in the way that Elijah Craig Barrel Proof has. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to dog on Knob Creek small batch 9 year because it's one of my favorite bourbons of all time. But I don't know. I think Matt brings up a really good point. If it comes back, I wouldn't be surprised if it's proofed instead of BP. Yeah, I mean, we could see it at like 125 proof. I don't want that to happen. I want to see the big monster proof bottles. I just don't know if we're gonna get it again. I truly don't. I'm also not trying to be super pessimistic with this conversation. It's not even really a conversation because I'm just speaking at you, and I'm so sorry for that. I hate when people speak at me, which is why I'm trying to involve you guys in the chat just as much as I am speaking. So I apologize if I get a little in the weeds of it all. I have every batch going back to B519, and I have no plans of stopping. And then there's stuff like that, Tony. I mean, truly, like, I don't have any opposition to continue to support. I don't have any issue with continuing to support Heaven Hill and Elijah Craig Barrel Proof just on this one thing. It would take a lot. I mean, it would take a lot for me to, completely change my mind on that. But, also time will tell. I haven't tried the B523 yet. I haven't tried the 11-year, 5-month age-stated Elijah Craig Barrel Proof that we're getting. So we'll see. We'll have a different conversation when the time comes. Make no mistake, I'll still buy when I find it. Absolutely. Consumers also cause this. When the 8 to 9 year store picks fly off the shelf for $20 more than the 12-year batches, I'm sure that gives them confidence it will sell. Josh, you're not wrong. You are absolutely not wrong with that sentiment, my friend. We're going to get some older and some younger batches. We are. 100% we are. The one thing I didn't mention with this article that they brought up in their penultimate paragraph, future batches will be free to fluctuate in various directions in terms of age, with Heaven Hill hinting that the C923 batch could bear an age statement of more than 13 years. So yes, there is a possibility that we could get a higher aged batch. I don't have any problem with that. But I don't know how quickly that would happen. Anonymous with the $5 Snuffy Chat. The new ECBP batch is supposed to be great at 11.5 or whatever. Does it matter? I say yes, but if it's good, it's good. I'm sorry that some of your message got cut off there. I know who that is. I didn't know if you wanted to keep it anonymous. I will not divulge that information. But yeah, for sure. I mean, if it's good and it's not as old, I don't care. I'm fine with it. But it's the last remnant of the bourbon of yesterday. I mean, that's how I feel. That's how I'm really landing, dadgummit, with most of this issue. That this, to me, is the end of an era. When true age statements that people latched onto, not just because of how old it is, but because of how great the whiskey is. And these double-digit age statements as well, they're gone. They're just gone. And that's a hard pill to swallow. That is a really tough pill to swallow. And the hard truth of it is, a consistent release by release age statement of 12 years old is probably not going to happen. We are more than likely not going to see that happen again. That's the hard truth of it. I'll support ECBP as long as the price for what we get is worth it. If it does Booker's, I'll stop buying. I am on board with that, James. I don't see a scenario where they creep towards the elusive Elijah Craig 18. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Singing that in a different key than the music that's playing underneath is really tough. But Papa Ritter's in the house, everybody. Really? Pedro Pascal rocks it at the Met Gala with slicked back hair. And your first public appearance after you have slicked back hair? What can I tell you, man? Pedro and I are just on the same wavelength. We're just riding the same coattails. The Liquor of the Lakes was 12 year 5 months. It rivals Russell's 13 to me. Do we overemphasize age? I don't know what the Liquor of the Lakes is. Please help me, James. I don't know what you're talking about. Am I playing any music around Lex anytime soon? Not at the moment. I would like to, though. Matt, if you know anybody, I've been doing this for... I want to play music. I have a story. I have a history, okay? I just want to see you in those shorts. Those shorts, I can't handle those shorts, brother. I think Eagle Rare at 10 years is still an epic accomplishment. I do too, and I mean, like, that's like... it came all the way back around, you know? And maybe that is proof. Maybe that is proof positive for we get eventually to see, this age statement come back. Maybe. I don't know. A private barrel for that store. Okay, I got you. So are we putting too much? Are we putting too much emphasis on age? Yeah, probably. Honestly. This is the way. Am I sitting in for a set with the geriatrics? I hope so. I'm bringing my guitar. Like, I will have my guitar in the car and be ready to go so I don't have to borrow the guy's stuff again. But who's to say? Am I an idiot? Did I call you Bill? Pat, I'm sorry if I called you Bill. I saw Bourbon Noob and the logo, and for some reason I went to Bill. Who's now here. That was weird. Hi, Bill. What's up, y'all? Woo. If Eagle dropped the age statement, people would riot. That's true. I misspoke. They didn't drop the age statement. It just moved its way back to it did a full 360 back around to the front of the bottle. Oops. Joseph Brazo. Hello, Joe. Can see you in a couple weeks as well. And Bill, for that matter. And Papa Ritter's going to be there. The barrel rings king indeed. If you want to have a voicemail on a regular episode of the podcast, you can call the number 859-428-8253. You can leave us a voicemail. We'll listen to it on the podcast. Pat is okay being Bill. Possible. Viking Bourbon. Howdy, folks. Cheers. Good to see you, Viking. Still at work, but jumping in. Hey, good to have you here. Oops. I worry the Eagle Rare and Russell's 10 will get more expensive. Yeah, probably. I mean, if we're being honest with ourselves, yeah, it probably is going to get. It probably is going to get more expensive. You know, all this talk of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof has got me jonesing for some Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Sugar Kitty. Knob Creek age statement is different. They took it off completely instead of just an age statement that varies each time. A good point. A very good point. Where is Eric tonight? He is probably working. I don't know. Eric and I have been on such weird schedules recently where we haven't had as much time just to chat. But my assumption is that he's working. So there you go. Hello, Mr. Stinkbug. Welcome to a bourbon glass. Does Mr. Brazo give hugs? Oh, he gives great hugs. He gives fantastic hugs. Just so you know. So I want to talk about the implications at large of this changing. But before I do, Dev Patel. What's up, Dev? Hey, Perry. Long time no see. Question: would you cancel all store picks if you could get rid of all flippers, or all the Eagle Rare or ECBP, etc. stop being ghost bottles? Would you cancel all store picks if you could get rid of all flippers, or all the Eagle Rare or Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, etc. stop being ghost? Oh, okay. Would I cancel all store picks if I could do one of those two things? It's a tough question. don't want to be too selfish because, I mean, there are so many great store picks that are out there still, and I know that there are a bajillion of them out there. And it is harder to find good ones. I almost would rather just hedge my bets and just get single barrels that are not picks. Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, if it meant that Elijah Craig Barrel Proof was more available, or we could get rid of flippers. Yeah, I think that's a fair... assessment. Anyway. Oh, C918. You make me weep for the days of yore. I think that's the correct answer for sure. For sure. And 7 years ago. Bring back the 12-year small batch. Absolutely. And also bring back Top Shelf Dustin, dadgummit. Good to have you in the chat, man. Been a moment since we've seen you, but golly, if this stream hasn't brought out the woodworks of people who haven't shown up to a stream in a while, boy howdy, it's good to have you here. Thank you all so much for showing up for this stream. You all know how passionate I am about Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, and you know that this is something that I couldn't avoid talking about. So here we are. So let me have a swig of this, and then we will talk more about what this means for Elijah Craig Barrel Proof in general. Mm-hmm. They just don't make them like they used to. If we get rid of flippers, my price for anything in Georgia would be better. Absolutely. That being said, the last few Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs haven't been special. They've clearly been using worse barrels to bring on the younger stuff. It's fair. Perfectly fair. Okay. So there is the set. We'll get this crap out of the way first because it's the part of it that I would least want to talk about, to be honest. But yes, there is that really, really strong chance that we are going to see an uptick in prices on older Elijah Craig Barrel Proof releases on secondary. I mean, there's just a very, very good chance that we're going to see that. Yo, Tony Bag of Donuts with the $10 Snuffy Chat. ECBP B522 down the hatch. There you go. My beloved Weller Special Reserve. I mean, hey, dude, Special Reserve is still great bourbon. Anyway. Yeah, so secondary. It is going to get more expensive. I don't think that anybody saw this particular story happen and went, well, it's not going to affect me. It's going to happen. Like, everybody has got to know that flippers gonna flip. And these daggone flippers today are gonna see this opportunity and they're gonna make a pretty penny. I'll turn it into Charlie Day all of a sudden. But they're gonna make a pretty penny. Let me get caught up on the chat. I think hold on. Don't give anyone any ideas. Tommy D, good to see you, man. Like I said, the crew is out tonight. Top Shelf Dustin, you might see an uptick on secondary prices. I can't tell you the last time I ever looked at a secondary site or price. Just wait until Henry McKenna is $99.99. Anthony, shut your mouth. You're right, but please stop. North Carolina bans those who flip and has been recently charging them. Nice. That's awesome. Anyway, I mean, yeah, there's that aspect of it. I think the larger one that we really have to address and we have to make ourselves conscious of is that, I mean, there could just straight up be a dip in quality. Or it could be the opposite and we could see more consistency. And I mean, Dustin brings up a good point. The last few batches have not been special. They've been good, but they've not been special. And so to get the chance to have something special again, if it means younger bourbon, truly it's okay. Sorry, Suburbia just tweeted about Tears of the Kingdom, the new Zelda game. So I will be up late tonight in preparation for it, I think. Hello again, Wesky friends. See you soon, buddy. Good to see you in the chat, Jeff Wack. I am so excited to see you here in the old Lex town very soon. We got such a good crew coming in for TIMBP weekend. I'm so happy. Y'all are going to make this special. I know that we plan stuff, but you guys are truly going to make it special. That's what's going to turn the tide for TIMBP Weekend 2023. I don't mind younger if the quality is just as high. But the wood isn't there, and the quality distillate isn't there. The quality distillate? Dev, that is a bold claim, my friend. Is that a... Are you trying to say that Connor's not doing a great job with actually distilling whiskey? Or was this a thing that goes back further? Because, I mean... It left me at a loss for words. I mean, this isn't his whiskey that he's made. You know? This was pre-Denny Potter, too, wasn't it? Yeah, it would have been. 2011? Who was the master distiller at Heaven Hill in 2011? Having been at Heaven Hill to do some single barrel picks, the older barrels they offered up were terrible. Less oak, less richness, less flavor than younger. It's hotter? Fair enough. There I said it. C919 was smooth butter and it seeped in like silk. I thought everybody was of the collective agreement that C919... Did I say 18? I meant 19. C919 was pretty hot. ECBP and Booker suffer from their own success. They're all good, but some are better, which means good bottles become bad in comparison. Yeah. The C919, I bet, had 15-plus year bourbon in there. There is no way that C918 doesn't have, like, 15 to 18-year-old bourbon in it. It drinks so much older than 12 years old. So, you know, maybe that's the thing, too. Maybe their older stuff just isn't as good right now. So there is that chance that we're just going to see in a couple years, after the older stuff continues to age. I don't know. C918 is on another level than the C919, and 919 was great. I know a club that almost walked on a pick because all they were showing were old picks. They picked an 8-year. Dang. I mean, largely, yeah. I think that the 8 to 10-year-old barrels for Elijah Craig barrel proof picks have been better than the 11 or 12-year-olds. So, One thing's for sure, Heaven Hill's certainly making more rick houses to have more bourbon in 12 years from now. We'll see how it works. Yeah, and I mean, we truly don't know how some of these heritage brands in new rick houses are going to perform, because it's all new. I mean, everything that we truly have like fallen in love with over the past few years, aside from smaller brands that have come out, we don't know how it's going to be. We truly don't. We don't know what those what those barrels are going to taste like. That's the gamble of getting into bourbon. I mean, that's just how it is. Daggum, son. Mr. Brewmaster with the snuffy chat. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. You were buying tickets. My bad. I was like, why is this showing up on the screen? That's because you were just buying tickets for the live show. Go buy tickets for the live show, everybody. Matt. That made me laugh. Sorry about that. Yeah. Just finish the bourbons and the Amberana and all will be okay. Just finish the bourbons and Amberana, and all will be okay. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it could fix it, or it could make it real bad. I don't know. All right, so I think we've exhausted our talking points here, and I just want to hang out with you guys, you know. So, because Tony has been adamant about making sure that I get this done, I'm going to run one of the two giveaways that I need to do tonight. And so there's two of them. One is the review giveaway, which we're going to be doing, and the other is the splash giveaway. The splash giveaway is taking a little bit more time to double check and make sure I have everybody in there. But the the review giveaway is going to be a little bit easier. So, present, share screen. All right, so here we have all 14 entries for those who left a review for TIMBP in January. Yes, I am. I know. I know. How? Just please. Just hang in there. Anyway. 14 wonderful people who supported the show just by leaving a review on their podcast app of choice, and that goes such a long way to supporting the show. It gets us in front of more people and pushes us up in the algorithm. So, 14 entries: Andrew West, Eberts J, Mike Green, Hags, Loyage, Bourbon Advocate, Dismal Dave, S4 Fidelt, Beers Hunter. Ooh, Beers Hunter, did you do twice? That's not supposed... Is that right? I don't know how you would have left two. It would be something if you won, Don. Yeah, there's no way that we could have had two entries from one person. So 13 people, my bad. Chauncey M45, Fish on Fly, Evan Pittsburgh, and Tony Baravides. Guys, thank you all so much for leaving a review. This roll, or this drawing, I believe is for a private Zoom tasting with Eric and myself. And you're going to have some snacks from Eric as well. So, Here we go. We're going to do top of the 5th roll. As you can see, we got all these names. And we are going to go ahead and randomize. Here's the first roll. Good luck, everybody. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. Tony, you didn't leave a review, dude. You're in the splash giveaway. You weren't in this one. It's really funny though. And last but not least, here is our 5th and final roll. Good luck, everybody, and it goes to Eberts J. Eberts J. Congratulations. You are the winner for the TIMBP review extravaganza thing that we did in January. Thank you all again so much for doing that. We still got a couple minutes left. Do you guys have any questions or anything? Let me know. I'm curious. I have the curiosities. Oh shoot! Now I gotta. You did on Audible? Was it within the window? I thought I checked, dude. All right, hold on. Oh, shoot, it was in January. Well, screw me then. Okay, so... Dadgummit. Tony also tipped me $500. That is true, he did do that. Well, friggin' crap. Tony, I bet that's what I did, is I put Beers Hunter twice. Instead of putting you... Nope, that's wrong. In there. Well, that's dumb. Alright. We're gonna roll it again. There we go. There's the 14. I'm sorry. Yes, we'll do a redraw. I'm very sorry. All right, top of the 5th. Here we go. Randomize. 1, 2, 3, 4, and drum roll for everybody. I'm really, really sorry. Andrew West. Dustin. I put a review on everywhere. I've listened to a podcast. Sadly, that's 0 places. Well, Dustin, that means you need to listen to TIMBP. What are you doing? Hey, but if you just like the live streams, that works too. Regardless. All right. I'm really sorry about that, Tony. But I want to say thank you to everybody who has been here tonight. Y'all rock. And this has been a lot of fun. R.I.P. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. 12-year minimum age statements. I'm Perry, and this is TIMBP Live.